It's the most credible source of football news, the most incredible source of entertainment. Coming your way on the Footy Show next on Channel 9.
It's lifetime health cover. For me, it's all so simple.
Oh, no, not that again.
You get lifetime health cover?
No, I never got around to it.
I did. No way I was paying a loading.
I take care of myself pretty good.
Guess I missed out.
No, not yet. But you better get a move on.
What'd you do?
Went with Medibank. Couldn't find a better deal.
How'd you work that out?
Watched the ad and made the call.
I feel better now.
The GST. It's arrived, even at Hungry Jack's. So now, a Whopper value meal of a flame-grilled Hungry Jack's Whopper, golden fries and a Coke is still, well, Whopper value. And the unlimited free drink refills are still unlimited and free. Free. Hey, that's a good deal. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
I'm young, I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. I murdered a rock, injured a stone. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time. I told you all that I was the greatest.
It is Mitsubishi.
Nasty sore throat germs can really spoil your day. You need Cepacol relief. Cepacol works to help kill sore throat germs. Cepacol, serious relief for sore throats.
It's here. Old El Paso discovered the secret to the perfect burrito. It's the spices. Simmer chicken in the burrito seasoning mix of paprika, cumin, and beans. A flour tortilla, chicken, salad, salsa, and wrap it all up. They waited enough. What about me? Old El Paso. Celebrate eating.
Bring out the life in your hair with Schwarzkopf Extra Care. It deeply penetrates, giving your hair extra life, shine, and vitality. Schwarzkopf Extra Care, vital for the life in your hair.
The critics called The Perfect Storm a wild, wild ride. The entire cast is splendid. Stunning action. The effects are positively first-rate. The Perfect Storm.
Sunday.
25 years it's taken to get like this, guy.
A transformation so amazing.
If you want colour, these are the ones.
Impatience.
Yeah.
They've been named after my wife.
It's more than just landscaping. Backyard Blitz, 6:30 Sunday on 9.
ER, proudly brought to you by Medibank Private, making you feel a whole lot better.
I feel better now.
The Footy Show is brought to you by Holden.
big week it has been in football. What a week it's been in football. What a week it's been in football. We've got a lot to get through tonight, so we're not going to muck around. We're going to introduce the panel right off the top because we're going to get off at 11 o'clock for the big Wimbledon showdown tonight. Good luck to Yolanda Dogic. But first of all, please welcome the captain of Collingwood, Nathan Buckley. Hello, everyone. Joining us tonight from Tigerland, Brendan Gale. And the new team mascot of the Geelong Football Club. Please welcome John Sammy Newman. And ladies and gentlemen, over behind the bar as always, please put your hands together for Trevor Marmalade. Thank you.
How we going there, mate?
What's that, mate?
Oh, hitchhiking off to Adelaide last week.
Oh, what about that? You know, the funny thing was the bus broke down outside a store in Adelaide. Finningham was called Rocker Brothers.
No, you know what the funny thing was? The bus broke down, Ed.
Yeah.
Tell us what the funny thing was.
Yeah, all right.
And what was the problem with it? The wheels had just completely fallen off down there? Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
That's a good one.
You know, it's tough, Sammy.
Don't you start.
Shut up, Biff.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight he is sitting there for this very good reason. Our very special guest panellist tonight played 247 games for Old Carey Grammarians. Took them from E grade to B grade as a player. He's been the club president for 18 years, the longest serving in AFL football at the moment. He's won 2-day and 1-night grand final. Please welcome Mr. John Dorman Elliott. And John joining us on the show tonight because we're celebrating the last suburban showdown this week between Collingwood and Carlton at Optus Oval. Of course, we've got plenty to get through with Sam's drama with the Geelong and all sorts of things to get through tonight. But we've also got some special guests coming in and have a look at this for an array of talent. Just turning up in the Channel 9 car park now. Banksy's bus service is there. Good to see Dennis Banks again driving the bus. And Peter Moore's going to be with us a bit later on. Mike Fitzpatrick from Carlton. Stan Megro's here just to run through Jezza if he turns up. Craig Starcevich is with us as well. Reese's there as well. Oh, it's going to be a big night tonight. And there's Banksy on the buses as always. I'll get you, Butler, says Banksy. John, welcome to the Footy Show. Lovely
Thanks,
to have
Eddie.
you here.
This is Sam's last night, they tell me.
Why is that?
Well, Channel 9 want to give me the contract and tip him out.
Why would you take a pay cut at this stage of your life, Jack? Yeah.
Trev?
Well, I think we have to ask you at this point, which one is Bib and which one is Bub?
Yeah.
I mean, Wayne Jackson said he was sick of them. We don't even know who they are. I thought they were the flower pot men.
That's Bill and Ben.
Well, Trevor, you know, I can't speak for Eddie, but I think it's a disgrace they denigrate the presidents of the two greatest clubs. We're out there promoting the game. We want this game on Sunday to be a big game. We want every game of footy to be a big game, and why they didn't televise it is absolutely beyond me.
Oh.
And wait a minute.
Gee, I'll give you a good reason if I could just wear this hat for a minute. Well, you know, why would we televise you when you're actually suing us? Why would we be bothered?
Because you want the ratings, my boy. And you only get the ratings when you go to...
Why would we move the game when you're trying to stick it up us at every turn?
No, we're only trying to do the right thing by footy. You know, I mean, the AFL's had one of the most disappointing years I've ever seen. Now I can cope with it.
And as far as we're concerned, it's just guilt by association. I mean, you know, we've had to pay for the legacy of you shooting your mouth off at every turn.
No, what you're telling me is it's really Eddie's fault. They don't like him because it's Channel 9.
And if you want to go to a decent casino...
But I think John's making a fair point, though, Sammy. I mean, Eddie, as Collingwood president, he's constantly in a no-win situation. He just is. I feel sorry for him.
Having said that...
I defend him. I happen to say that we do fight for footy and the average person who goes to the game. And I think that AFL is worrying about their Colonial Stadium and all the extra money they're trying to get out of the real, the people that pay all the seats and dinner and all this stuff.
This an eye...
Got to keep the punters going.
What is this, an eye...
Optus Oval will be fantastic someday, I can tell you.
Is this an
eye chart? What do you want to
chart?
say? You've been put over there. You've been put over there as a Geelong ex-player. That's why you're there. I'm here.
Is this an eye chart for dim-witted Collingwood people? What are you wearing?
Hang on, start having a crack at the...
Oh, sorry, Ed. No, I didn't mean... I'll put another hat on here in a minute. Now, Jack, seriously, no, I'm absolutely serious about this. Do you honestly think that the AFL are not going to give you anything and they're trying to portray you to your Carlton supporters and members just as to what you are? You're detrimental to the club.
You're actually starting... that hat on, you're starting to look like Forrest Gump.
Well, have a look at...
And that's what the Sydney press are calling the chief executive of the AFL.
Have a look at Ren and Stimpy over here. Look at you.
I reckon you ought to join the AFL and take a pay cut. You'll do well. I'm happy to sit here and take the pay cut as well.
Ed, I tell you what, he's backed you into a corner. You can't get half your supporters to the game because you're playing at Optus.
Carlton and the AFL can blue as much as they like.
Don't go on too long about this.
I'm going to say just one thing. We complained bitterly when the first fixture came out that had the game fixtured at Optus Oval. Now, the AFL have come out and said that was a stupid thing to do. We agree. Second thing was, why wasn't the game moved across? John, I'll ask you, why under pressure and why, when you were approached, didn't you move the game back to the MCG?
What do you mean under pressure?
Oh,
Maybe the AFL
when the AFL came to you, why did
you... because we'd already organised with the Melbourne City Council. For the first time in many years, they were prepared to put up the huge tent in Princes Park, and there's going to be 1,000 people at the President's Lunch.
Corporates?
It's going to be the first time that the other president will be able to speak at a President's Lunch.
So you've put a large tent up to get 1,000 people in?
I'm answering his question. I can't answer to you. You're a bloody disgrace, you are. I'm glad you're over there. I think I'll get Cooter in to replace you next week. No, but basically we'd made the decision. So Wayne Jackson and I agreed. I said, look, I can't do the Collingwood game back there, and he agreed with that. So we moved the Richmond game as an act of goodwill. 2 weeks later, they're into me again. Anyway, I say to all the Carlton supporters, it's going to be a great day out there on Sunday. And I just think it's a disgrace they haven't televised it. And even you'd watch it if they televised it.
Which is the third point to finish off on, is it shouldn't have been fixtured there. We called for the game to be moved. That hasn't been able to be done. Then it was just assumed that the game would be live on TV. Now, I'm not asking for the Western Bulldogs game or the Hawthorn game not to be shown. We saw the Western Bulldogs, like Arnold Horshack, teacher, straight away send out. I mean, if they just pulled back for 2 seconds and had to listen to what we're actually saying, we wanted to get the 3 games on. Now, when we played in Brisbane, Collingwood, we played at 12 o'clock for TV reasons. Last week when we played at Adelaide, we played a twilight game for TV reasons. All those games could have got on. Now, and it's just very disappointing for all the Collingwood supporters to miss out on this one, and you can't do it. And they're just going to turn people away. One thing I can say is that if you go to the Horse and Coaches in Ringwood and also to the Legends Bar...
Coaches in Ringwood.
Well, this is what we have to do, because people can't even... The thing is, Sam, if you could go and just ring up and get the C7 put on your TV tomorrow, people would be able to do it. You can't do it.
What has happened,
you can't see it. So Legends at Crown or the Coach and Horses in Ringwood, and we'll see the game, and you won't have to shell out any money for all that.
Put your AFL hat on. Come on, put your AFL hat on.
The simple fact of the matter is...
We got done.
The simple fact of the matter is you've tried to screw the AFL. They're getting back at you.
No,
You've
I think that's right.
Channel 7, so they're not going to televise you. And you work for Channel 9, so they're giving you nothing. So you've actually stuffed it up big time, you two.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Forrest Gump.
Trevor?
Oh, well, look, I've got to say, for the Collingwood supporters that can't get to the game, perhaps they should spend the day enjoying themselves.
Exactly, yeah, that'd be great, Trev. You could always go down and watch the Kangaroos game, Trev. That'd be good. Good value.
Will be a
It's
good game. Kangaroos-Richmond be a big match this weekend
Big game,
with a
yeah.
bearing on the final 8.
Exactly, it'd be fantastic. No worries about getting a seat there.
Absolutely. Be able to get a seat in your lounge room, Ed.
Sorry, mate?
We've got to be out by 11.
I know. You better ask the Carlton president about his star player, Anthony Koutafidis.
Well, why wasn't he meant to be on here tonight? Why couldn't you bring him on tonight? And don't you have any control over the people you're signing up for $1 million a year?
That's your second question. How many more are you going to ask before you let me answer?
Go ahead.
You are a lunatic. I'll show it up later. No, we're pretty close, and I think, we'll have a deal done with Kuda. And at Carlton, we worry about playing football.
Well, you'd want to worry about
You've never seen Kernahan here, or Bradley, or Kuda. So, but I have promised Eddie, if we hadn't have been in the delicate negotiations, Kuda would have been here. And we're very close to getting a deal done. That's a scoop for Channel 9. And
you did promise that he'll come on here when he's signed up.
We will.
Okay, that's good. We've just got that. I want to make sure we got that on tape there. John, just before you go, we
you're
appreciate
sending me off already. You're not putting this lunatic back here, eh?
Well, yeah, but you've got some happy snaps.
Yeah, I have. Some wonderful happy snaps. And this is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And Sam, I'd like you to tell me who that person is. Now, this is Sam in his first house This is Sam in his first house. He went to Geelong Grammar. He was up at Timber Top, and there he is. And here's the second one.
Oh, you're there
Sam,
as well, John.
No, I'm not there. There's Sam in 1960, and the fire's burning. Sam's supposed to be lighting the fire.
And we've just
He's smoking everybody out.
And we've
Look
just
at what you're doing, Sam. You're a lunatic.
And we've just eaten our fourth travelling member. We've just barbecued him. There he shoot.
That's when you were at Timber Top, my boy.
Yeah. Well, Jack.
In 1960.
Has it
and
just...
you know who sent those to me? Johnny Molesworth. You remember him?
Molesworth,
Yeah, he
really?
was there with you.
Yeah, he was.
He said, next time you see Sam on that footy show, put those on.
Well, as it just so
Right,
happens...
she looked very lonely. There were two people in every other tent.
Shut up! And it just so happens we've got a lovely shot of you reclining. I don't know where it is. Who would that be, Jack?
Gee, she looks pretty good, doesn't she?
And who's the bozo next to her?
You haven't got a tattoo, have you, John?
No, I don't.
You don't? What is that, then?
Oh, you put
Give
that
us a
on.
look. No, give us a look. Give us a look. Have you got a tattoo?
No.
You're sweating. Give us a look, then.
Oh, do you want to have a fight here now?
Give us a look. Have you got a tattoo?
Come on.
You're sweating. Can you get it?
You're a bloody lunatic. Don't you start hitting young men like me.
Careful of the stitches, Jack. Can you get a close-up of his face? How can you sweating like a pig? Look, it's hot. Have you got a tattoo? Seriously?
No.
Well, what is that there? Put it back on.
You put it on.
What is that?
That's a disgrace.
That's a
My
tattoo.
God. She's a pretty girl, though.
Give us a look. Go on.
Better
Give us a
looking
look.
than
Give
you.
us a look. Give us a look. Have you got a tattoo or not?
No.
I'll tell you what, I'll rip it off in a minute. I'll rip your shirt open. Would you like me to rip it open?
Don't point, it puts holes in the air.
Would you? This is like play school.
It is. Sit down. Anyway.
Why don't you go over there with
Why
orange...
don't you get stuffed?
What? You want to be rude on this show to the young people that are watching? My 10-year-old daughter's watching. Go over there with orange marmalade and just sit with them.
It is play school. It's play school.
Bucks and Benny, we'll get you in a moment. Trev, just before we go to the break.
So could you at home tell which one it was? Was it Bill or was it Ben?
John, thanks very much for joining us tonight.
Pleasure, Eddie.
It's going to be a great game of footy. We're going to talk to some of the greats throughout the night. Plenty of footy to get through tonight, and all the very best. And Channel 7 apparently tonight said that we are doing things together, but I hope we come out and kick the crap out of you blokes on Sunday. It's going to be a fantastic game, and I'm sure you share the sentiments. It's going to be a good game.
Well, can I just finish by saying that Collingwood, our greatest defeat this season has been against Collingwood, 73 points, and we have to win on Sunday. And Nathan, just go quietly, will you, my boy? Just go quietly.
Well, John, actually...
But, we're going to win.
You mentioned that, the 73-point margin, and we might get a touch out of that. That's all the players who played for Collingwood that day. It's a special commemorative edition that we've got, and it's available at the club at a very nice price too. So we'd like to present that to you, John.
Hey, no, I don't want it, Eddie. Give it to this lunatic over here.
No,
yes, Sam, before we go to the break.
Are we doing any of the other sides?
We are doing the rest right now.
Okay, look, let me tell you, the two greatest clubs in the history of the AFL are Carlton and Collingwood. The rivalry is fantastic. We beat them by 99 points on New Year's Eve with nobody there, and we were very complacent, and they've come out and knocked us off. I tell you, no matter where you're on the ladder, it's a big day. And I just say to the Carlton supporters, you be there, because we're going to knock the tripe out of them.
All right, Trent.
I hear what you're saying, John, but is it that big a game? I mean, you're not going to get more than 35,000 there for a start.
That's enough to make a quid, not like Docklands.
And XSIQ is the badge. It's
that's the sponsor of the game.
Yep.
And actually, Eddie, Sam, you ought to use these people. You can get your matriculation your day, HSC. They do all this stuff on the CD-ROM, because you couldn't pass the exams, they told me. Your father was a teacher there and you still couldn't pass.
Is that matriculation or masturbation?
Now, that's obviously what you were doing instead of passing the exam.
On that note, on the wheel tonight, these are the teams. Turrumbry Retirees, that's a good name for a side. Creswick, Ballarat, Hallam Junior, Romsey Lansfield, Altona, Port Punker Junior, Camberdown, Wollonga, Bayswater, and then we've got Buchan. Good luck to them. It'll be a Buchan good night if they win. Montmorency, Belgrave, Alexandra, Kew. Is that near Kew or...? No, thanks, Sam, that'll do. Anglesey, Maiponga, Meerbu North, Ballon and Heatherton are all on the wheel tonight. Once again, the president of Carlton, John Elliott.
There's one down, but the incentive to survive is a cool $1 million. Now the reality of the challenge is very real. They must outwit.
We have no idea where they're going, what they've done.
Outplay.
I can't do it!
And ultimately outlast the opposing tribe. But differences will begin to take their toll.
We've all seen him eating extra food.
Survivor, the adventure of a lifetime continues 7:30 Saturday on 9.
I was waiting for you to come back. I miss you terribly. You look so beautiful. I can't wait. I have to have you now.
Red Rooster's Parmigiana meal is back. Tender chicken schnitzel smothered with rich Napolitana sauce, grated cheese and served with mashed potatoes, gravy and fresh garden peas for just $5.70.
I love a tender breast.
Red Rooster's Parmigiana meal. That's what I want. Red Rooster.
Hello?
Hi, darling. Timmy wants a story.
Oh, STD calls are so expensive.
Oh, no, they're not.
Join Telstra's Easy Saver Plus and you'll get our lowest capped STD call ever. Just $1.98 including GST. Easy Saver Plus gives you great value on all your calls within Australia. Call 132200.
Then the little train made it right to the top of the hill.
Email.
We are all connected. We are all connected.
on me.
Canton curries combine the finest natural ingredients to bring you the many tastes of Asia, like this delicately spiced Canton creamy tomato curry. For a curry the whole family will love, you can't go wrong with Canton.
Welcome to the Newmart Fresh Food Festival.
1 kilo bags of mandarins.
$1.97.
Skin on boneless chicken breast.
$8.99 a kilo.
Newmart, extra value for you.
And me.
First, there was Speed, a story about a bus trip to hell. Whoa, dude. Now watch the story of a football team on a trip to nowhere in Slow. Watch in horror at a bus horribly out of control, where only the strong survive. The phone, the only link to a madman.
Hello?
Is that the most disgraceful, piss-weak, inept, mentally stuffed performance?
What?
Who is this?
Mick Malthouse.
Sorry, wrong number. I thought that was the Geelong bus.
Slow, coming to a bus stop near you. Or maybe not.
Special reminder, next week is our 200th show. Yes, we joined the 200 Club at the AFL. Next week, the special time of 8:30. We're going to have a 2-hour show next week, or 2.5 hours, same as usual, really, but 8:30 next week for the Footy Show. Special time is going to be a beauty for our 200th show. Make sure you join us then at 8:30. Now it gives me great pleasure to say Elliott is out, Newman back in the normal position, and representing his club, the captain of the Geelong Football Club. Please welcome Ben Graham to the show. Benny. Well, if the Bib and Bub show dominated the second half of the week, the first part of this week has been dominated by Sam Newman once again and his critique of his old side Geelong. So now it's time for Sam's mailbag.
Well, Ed, I made some comments on radio last Friday about Geelong's performance against St Kilda, in case you hadn't heard.
Yeah, we didn't hear him on the station you worked for, Triple
M. Anyway. We'd like to play them in case people aren't familiar with it.
In case people weren't listening at, what time was it, about 10 to 12? Or?
Yeah, about 10 to 12.
About 10 to 12 on Friday night. Here's what Sam Newman had to say on 3AW.
I'm in Queensland at car racing and I've just got home and watched St Kilda. Just turned on for the last 3 minutes and saw St Kilda beat Geelong. And I would have rang another radio station, but they've gone off air.
John, if you played 300 games for Geelong, how would you feel tonight?
How piss weak are Geelong? Is that the most disgraceful, piss weak, inept, mentally stuffed performance you've ever seen from a side aspiring to survive, not only survive, but also pretend to be a final threat? Is that the most piss weak effort you've ever seen? Well, it is pathetic. I mean, what a bunch of imposters.
What, Trev?
Well, I wanted to ask Sammy, which of the 3 minutes you saw offended you the most?
Well, look, I just would like to just mention, Ed, that would it be all right at this stage to say how deceitful and untruthful of 3AW to say I was John of Brighton? Would that be all right to say that?
No, it wouldn't be.
Well, I won't say that then.
Okay.
No, I said I was Sam. I called, said I was Sam Newman on the phone. They said I was John of Brighton. So
anyway, forget about that.
Anyhow, and I understand that Pricey's the program manager and he's under a bit of pressure. He's in contract negotiations to see if they'll re-sign him, and his personal assistant has resigned this week. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was purely because of the disgraceful treatment they gave me. Anyhow, I tell you what I'm going to do tonight, Ed. No, he is. I'll tell you what I'm going to do tonight, Ben. If the majority of people who barrack for Geelong, we'll run this on 9MSN, disagree with what I said, if the majority of people disagree with what I said about Geelong's performance against St Kilda, I'll resign every position I have at the football club. And they can take my photograph down and I'll resign as the patron and I'll resign from the Life Membership Club and the past players and everything. And I won't have anything to do with the club again if the majority of people disagree with what I said. Because I'll tell you what happened with this club. This club And we'll keep a percentage poll up on Triple M during the weekend. 105.1 it is, Triple M on the FM dial.
Go on.
What we'll do is we'll see, because Geelong, on 4 occasions, the 4 occasions that coaches have resigned, have been sacked or decided they wouldn't go on, Ed, on the 4 occasions they've played Geelong the next week, they've lost Geelong every one of those games. In 25 seasons, and they've only been part of the competition for 100, in 25 seasons, Geelong have been beaten by the bottom side in 25 seasons. Now, 8 of them by St Kilda, incidentally. And I rang Mark Thompson during the week and I said, "You're going to get beaten?" He said, "Why is that, Sam?" I said, "Because the players are mentally not capable of rising to a challenge. And it's been going on long enough, and we're not standing any more of it."
OK, but before we let Ben have the right to reply, can I just say that, Sam, you played for 303 games of football.
Some of them great, some of them fair, and some of them ordinary, Ed.
And between 1964 and 1980.
Yes.
And Geelong didn't play in a grand final.
Well, yes, I did. I was injured. The grand final I was available for it in 1967. I'm sorry that I had my kidney knocked out by a Collingwood player in the first semi, but I did. And I was in hospital for 8 weeks in intensive care for 4 of them.
No, but what I'm saying is, I mean, you're levelling these allegations at today's players.
I am.
Surely it's fair for them to say, well, mate, you had your chance. You didn't cut the mustard.
Ed.
And we move on, and now it's our go. Leave us alone.
Ed, this is a cultural thing at Geelong. I said I was part of it. It's been a part of Geelong they're down there, we are down there. If I didn't give a stuff about the club, Ed, I wouldn't even bother bringing this up. In fact, I wouldn't be part of the club.
Let's ask the captain.
Very few percentage of players who ever play for a club actually go back to it, Ed. Ben, I'm one of those.
So what?
Well, it is an indictment on your mental capacity. This is the clubs, the
We're
players.
talking about history here now, though.
Yeah, we are. And the only thing I'm surprised about is that the current players, haven't agreed with what I said.
Well, Sam Newman, you are your own man. You've entitled to your own opinion, and you get paid a lot of money to do so.
Not to make opinions like that, I don't.
Are you proud of what you've said?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, and including some people at the club, think it's an absolute disgrace.
Well, I tell you what, Ben, we'll take a poll on this, and if the majority of people who follow Geelong or are members disagree with what I say, I will drop right out of anything to do with the club, and that's a fact.
We've heard that. Now, tell us... but time is of the essence. You tell us what the response has been by the players, and you're the captain of the club. What's the feel?
Well, we've treated this loss like any other loss. One game does not make a season. We're sitting 4th on the ladder. The club's in the best position it's been in since I've been at the club, and that's been 8 years. The board of directors, the coaching staff and the players, and we've got a very young list. So I don't believe that we'll respect history, but what happened last Friday night, and it's 6 days ago now, it happened. We lost the game. We're concentrated from Saturday morning, Adelaide, Saturday. We're still 4th on the ladder.
Yeah, and you were 3rd before you played St Kilda.
No,
and
we
the
weren't.
2 sides that have been last on the ladder when you've played them, you haven't beaten this year.
We're sitting 4th on the ladder, Sam. We've blooded the most kids so far of any other team.
I'm saying mentally you were beaten before you started, and that's been going on at Geelong for 50 years.
OK, so now it's time for us to change that culture.
Well,
do you agree with me?
Absolutely. Why do you think I'd be carrying on with all this crap?
You look at the Essendon, Carlton, Kangaroos, they're the top 3 sides.
Yeah.
I think we're in a position now where we can learn from this and we can create a club like the clubs I've mentioned.
Ben, just on that, the coach, Mark Thompson, spoke on radio before the game last Friday and said this was the game to break the back of the season. Obviously it didn't because it was a chance to get to 10 wins and 10.5 wins, needing probably only 11.5 to make sure of a final 8 position and then really challenge in the last couple of weeks for a top 4.
We're very disappointed about losing on Friday night.
I don't think we're disappointed enough, Ben, to be honest.
Well, it's been addressed.
I think we're vaguely disappointed, but we actually haven't hurt enough.
Have you actually been down the club to find that out, Sam?
I haven't, Nathan, no.
Ben, what are the blokes saying about Sam down there now? They look at him as a...
To be honest, we haven't really mentioned Sam Newman this week. We don't need Sam Newman to motivate us.
But I'm not trying to motivate you.
Well, you obviously want to help the club. I want you to prove to the Geelong Football Club how you can help us.
Well, I tell you, Ben, I'm, as I say, one of the very few people that ever return to a club in some capacity to try and help it. I go to all your pissy functions. I go to all the membership drives. I'm a patron of the club, And I'm not going to put up any more with weak, lily-livered performances like that without saying it. And they're disgraceful performances. And everyone would agree, except no one would have the guts to say it.
Boys, can we take the heat off Ben for a second?
No, this is not against Ben.
Benny, you play for a club that's got the passionate supporters, the Tigers. How tough is it for players, and Bucks, you can come in as well, to have people, supporters or big-name players come out and slam blokes like this? I mean, give us a player's perspective.
Look, for supporters, I guess that's part of the ebb and flow of a season, I guess. But when you get former players who come out and make fairly strong opinions and judgments, I mean, you do, I guess, take notice. Most former players tend to sort of let the current guys have their day, you know, acknowledging the fact they've had their day. Yeah, but I guess having said that, when they do come out and say, you know, something like that, you'd probably take a bit of notice.
Bucks, last year, Peter Dacos came out and had a scathing go at the Collingwood list. Paul Williams copped a pretty heavy whack from old Dakes. What's your feel on it?
Oh, my reaction to Dakes last year was that, I mean, I'd much prefer to have him down at the club and helping out in an in-house capacity rather than shedding his views in the public forum. And I suppose even though Sam has put his name down as patron, I don't know whatever else you do down at the club, mate, but surely,
I've got a feeling not a lot after tonight, mate.
Surely, well, surely your energies could have been better spent actually getting down there and helping out somehow.
Oh, getting down there and helping out. Well, I've just told you we help out. One of the few people of any club that ever go back to do anything. Just told you that.
I understand.
What would you like us to do? Well, we just put up with that, do we? I'm not like Peter Dacos. I haven't had a go at individual players. I mean, I will critique them when we go to a game. This is a cultural thing at Geelong. I told you I was part of it. Didn't absolve myself from any responsibility. But eventually someone's got to pinpoint the fact that Geelong, when they should win the easy games, go missing and they're mentally stuffed.
When you rang up through OW, was it a calculated attempt to get an improvement from the Geelong Football Club?
I told you I rang Mark Thompson the day during the week and said, this is going to happen, Mark, I can tell you, because I've been part of this club for long enough to know that they're going to be mozzed by the fact that a coach has resigned and the other mob are going to lift and they won't mentally be able to handle it. And what happened? I got back, saw 3 minutes of the game and I thought, you wouldn't believe it.
One question, when you got back, were you full of ink?
Ed, if I'd been full of ink, I went light. If I'd been full of ink, I would have really opened up.
OK. No, but just a fair question. You were driving the next day, so you hadn't been drinking?
Thank you very much.
7/8.
No, I just want to get... Benny, before we have a look at the team.
Eddie, there were stories of Graham Richmond used to tip off journalists and you know, to give Richmond players or the team a sting, you know, back in the days when he was around. So it just makes me wonder whether you're on the payroll there. You've been tipped off.
Another payroll.
I doubt another payroll. Well...
No, I'm not on the payroll, Ben, and I wouldn't accept being on the payroll. Like to do it for the, you'll love this, for the love of the club.
Hey,
but
you're coming down Saturday, though, aren't you?
I'm coming down Saturday, yeah.
Ooh, it's going to be big. What are you doing on Saturday?
What are you doing?
We're with Triple M broadcasting the game. I'm opening the inaugural pavers. What are we doing?
Stage 3.
Stage 3 of buying a paver. We need about 800 or 900 members or people to buy a paver down there.
So we've got an opportunity now to say something positive about the club. Why don't you...
I'll say something.
Just stand up and fight
Go
campaign.
down to Geelong, buy a paver and throw it at Sam on Saturday. Yeah. Let's go to the teams. Away we're going. We will be there for match point for Jelena Dokic if we don't get going. Yeah. Here we go. Geelong side. They're in, Sam, and up against Adelaide. And this is a crunch game, Ben. Take us through it. Spriggs, Burns, Mooney and Wojcinski are in for Hall, Corrigan, O'Brien out omitted, and Rowley's out for 4 weeks at least, if not more, with a bad shoulder.
Yeah, well, look, we obviously, we're not going to talk about Friday night again, but it was a disappointing loss, and it doesn't make a season. We're obviously looking for Saturday to make amends with 5 games to go. Look, we've got the finals in our sides.
OK, let's have a look at the Adelaide side. Beat the Maggies last week, back in town too. They're just cruising on, 9th on the ladder, 8 wins, 9 losses. The Cats are 9-7-1, so this is a vital game. This is an 8-point game, this one. The Inns, Bickley, who's back. He had a broken collarbone, we thought, a week ago, but he's back. And Stenglein is in, and out goes Binky for 2 weeks after he carved up Collingwood last week, and Costa for 2 weeks, both with strained adductors. So there you go, the adductors have struck down at the Adelaide Crows. Who's going to win?
Yeah, Ed, we're looking for the Fandom Squirrel Gripper down at our club at the moment to see how those Adelaide boys actually got those injuries. But obviously Adelaide have got back a bit of form, and I think they'll be very hard to beat over there.
Down at Shell Stadium.
Oh, well, yeah, well, they won't win there.
Okay. Geelong.
The Cats remain fourth, and they've got too much to play for. They'll get up.
Ben, tell us why you're going to win.
Well, the last couple of weeks we've probably gone away from the game plan a little bit, and we know it works for us. Mark Thompson's very big on process, and we are going to get back to basics, like it or not. No, I think we're going to be pretty hard at it on Saturday.
Sam?
Not a criticism of Mark Thompson at all, Ed, because I think he's doing a very good job. And if people like you get off your ass and do something on Saturday, maybe they'll win. Adelaide easily will beat Geelong down at Shell Stadium, Ed. Easily.
Pick it up and Benny.
Easily.
Oh, Sam, what
Give
are you
them
doing?
a flogging, they will.
Oh, well,
it's not hurting your
who do you think will win, Ed?
Well, it's Geelong will win.
Good. Well, there you go. Well, we'll meet back here next Thursday.
No, well,
and we'll go through it.
When's the last
all.
time you picked Geelong?
Hey?
When's the last time you picked us?
I tell you what, my tipping is only bad because I've tipped Geelong plenty of times.
All right, we're getting out of this while we're still in tech. Here's the website to get onto, 9msn.com.au. Can we get that up on the screen? If you want to vote on whether Sam's comments were justified last week, 9msn.com.au. There it is. Get on now. It's going. It's been activated for the last couple of days. Ben, I hate to say it, but 73% so far have voted yes, his comments were justified. But now we're opening it right up, 9msn.com.au to vote. And tell us whether this man is making any sense at all. Here's Sam.
What is that, Ed?
It's the weekend edition of the Herald Sun.
Oh, turn it up. Now, Ed.
What are you doing?
I tell you what, if that is on the paper, I'm minding my own business down at my own private beach and someone's taking a photograph of it. Well, I tell you what, that's it, Ed. Is that fair income?
That is this week's edition of the Herald Sun. What are you doing? Run of the hammer for time. We're going to take a break. Street Talk's next on the Footy Show.
All new Aussie superstars before they hit the big time as young hopefuls just starting out. Rare and never-before-seen footage including Gibson, Crowe, Minogue and Kidman. Before they were stars premieres 7 o'clock Saturday on 9.
Sorry, I won't be home for dinner.
Sorry, if I'm not the girl next door.
Sorry, Premier League.
Can we talk about this later?
Sorry, we don't have a cool nickname.
Sorry, I can't walk home from school with you.
Sorry, who do you feel sorry for? You know what? I'm not going to be home for a while. Sorry.
Because mess is always happening, new PinoClean antibacterial quick cleanups are pre-moistened and the handiest way ever to clean up and throw out dirt and germs in one step, leaving a hand free for the more important things. New PinoClean quick cleanups. PinoClean, the clean you can trust.
Quitting smoking can be difficult. And for some, the hand-to-mouth action of smoking can be just as hard to break. That's why there's Nicorette Inhaler. Nicorette Inhaler contains enough nicotine to relieve your cravings, and it keeps your hands busy. There's no smoke either, so you avoid harmful tar and carbon monoxide. Your pharmacist will advise you whether Nicorette Inhaler is suitable for you.
Childhood. Tell me about that. Starting from when you were 3.
New Continental Cup-a-Sou Gourmet in flavours like butternut pumpkin with sour cream and chives.
Yodeling drove my parents mad.
So delicious, you'll do anything to make it last.
Relax at Video Easy with the outrageous movie guarantee Juice Bigelow Male Gigolo. First time or it's free.
Relax, relax, relax and move.
Outside Matthew Rogers' cafe in the heart of St Kilda. You remember Matthew, the man that said he thought Essendon's you-know-what didn't stink, and then the Bombers came out and thumped the Tigers by about 100 points? I got a feeling he was right. Why does St Kilda win after Tim Watson resigns? We're going to ask people, is Anthony Koutafidis worth $5 million for 5 years? Is anyone worth $5 million for 5 years? Have you heard anything more stupid? Let's ask some folk here. How are you, mate? What did you think about St Kilda winning after Tim Watson resigned?
I couldn't care less. I'm a Collingwood supporter.
Well, you've got to have a bigger peripheral vision than that. I'm just asking you a general question about it.
Well, in general, what
in
do
general.
I think about this St Kilda and who, Essendon?
No, mate, no.
Mate, you know something, Sam? You're a good bloke, mate, but you know what? I know you hate Collingwood.
I do not.
Well, you keep telling Eddie you do.
Oh.
You got to leave us Collingwood supporters alone, mate. We're loyal, Greek blood, mate. Loyal, you know what I mean?
Loyal Greek Collingwood supporters.
Yeah, Malacca.
I want you to concentrate on this. It's not that difficult a question. Tim Watson resigned and the Saints won. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that they probably done it on, one for the Gipper, which they should have been doing from the start of the year.
One for the Gipper?
Whatever they say.
What do you think about a coach leaving and the side winning the very next week?
Oh,
Dog just sniffed maggots then, madam.
yeah, I think she loves you.
I hope she loves me. Now, Anthony Koutafidis, $5 million for 5 years. What do you reckon?
$5 million for 5 years is a lot of money.
Thank you for stating the bleeding obvious, sir.
I'm just trying to be polite, Sam.
Hold on, cut up rough a bit. Don't be polite. Let yourself go.
$5 million? I'm worth $5 million.
And what, in what capacity would you be worth $5 million?
About 11.5 inches.
Watch the show, don't tell me.
Eddie runs the show.
Eddie runs.
Eddie.
And you're the commentator.
No. We're just happy to do anything Eddie asks us to do.
I know, but you don't listen to Eddie too much. I know that.
Don't listen to Eddie.
I watch you show on television. You don't listen to Eddie too much. A little bit, not too much.
You don't listen to Eddie, sir?
You get sacked. Out.
What Steven said?
Who?
What my brother said.
What your brother said. All right.
Pansy Cronia.
Pansy Cronia.
Yep, because he can fix anything.
Boy, he's a smart ass. Sydney Swans are playing Melbourne. Who do you think the winner will be?
Where they play? At Sydney or here? Here.
And the winner is?
Melbourne. You should know that.
I want you to say the winner is Sydney.
The winner is Melbourne.
We're trying to get you to see if you sound like Juan Antonio Samaranch when they won the Olympic bid.
No.
Say, and the winner is Sydney.
The winner is Sydney. To keep you happy, I say that.
Thanks very much. My God. That used to be, I reckon, if I'm not mistaken, that used to be Sam Kigovich. Look at that. Mate, you're calling the Geelong games. You're calling the Geelong games. What did you think of their performance against the Saints, Sam?
A piss week, Sam, it was. I totally concur.
Well, there you are. There's another man that has a similar opinion. Gee, I hope he gets as much shit as I've copped.
Okay. This is the Peter McCallum Cup. That's what the Maggies and the Blues will be playing for. They'll be collecting for the Peter McCallum Cancer Institute at Optus Oval this week. Please make sure you give plenty. One of the great highlights of the Collingwood-Carlton rivalry over recent years has been the clash of two great ruckmen, Peter Moore and Mike Fitzpatrick. Who can't forget this grab? We have to show the photo because we're not allowed to show the pictures. Ooh, we don't want to promote the game. But anyway, joining us tonight, Mike Fitzpatrick and Peter Moore, two great captains of their respective clubs. Fitzy, tell us what it's like, these big games.
Well, the Carlton-Collingwood games from the time I first got there were just fantastic games. All the Carlton people, my second match for Carlton was against Collingwood, and all the Carlton people were just really wide up for it. And it was like that really all through my career, usually top sort of four sides in the top four sides. And we always used to look at where they were on the ladder and always used to prepare very, very carefully for those games.
And Peter, can I just ask you, away from the Collingwood Carlton, the rule that you brought in with Gary Dempsey for wrestling, the line across the centre circle has been abolished for next year. What's your thoughts about that?
Well, Mike and I were talking about that during the week. We happened to be away at the same place up for snow, and we were discussing that, and we reckon it ended our career by about 3 years earlier than it should have when they brought the line in, because as you lose your spring and you get a bit smaller, just the big tall guys have the advantage. But I think the line coming in the first place was an overreaction to me trying to try a new tactic, and I think that you know it'll be a lot fairer now. The ruckman will be able to use their skill, I think, a lot more.
Mike, do you agree?
Yes, I thought it was an overreaction. It was probably badly umpired on the day, and Peter really was pushing Dempsey around because he was being beaten, weren't you?
Yeah, exactly. That's where.
And I think they brought the line which changed ruck work a lot, and everybody had to adjust to it. But it went away from skillful body positioning to being leaping or being super tall. That's
All
really
right.
what it came to.
Thanks, fellas, for joining us tonight. Let's have a look at the teams now for Collingwood and Carlton. Mike Fitzpatrick and Peter Moore. Shut up, you Carlton idiots, because I've got to tell you that Fraser Brown got rubbed out for 3 weeks tonight in the reserves tribunal for the VFL, so that's bad news for Fraser. Beckwell and Culpert come in, no one out of the Carlton side yet. The Blues are flying, second on the ladder, have won their last 12 games, flogged Hawthorn by 57 points last week. But amazingly, against these two teams, after 220 games, the difference is 51 points in favour of Collingwood when you add up the scores. That's how close it's been over the years. The Maggies, Gav Krasiska is in, McKee's in, Orchard, Patterson and Richardson. But have a look at the outs. Nathan Buckley, Tarkin Lockyer was All-Australian back pocket for the first 5 weeks, and Severio Rocker, now they're both in the reserves.
Yeah, we go into this game with obviously the best team we can, following our last sort of 3 months performance. I think when we played Carlton in round 3, it was nearly the peak of our powers at the time, and it's the best we've played this year, so our challenge is to try and reproduce something like that.
Boys, who's going to win?
I think Carlton, Eddie. Be a spectacle, though. At least the sides are out there when the game is actually taking a back seat with all the politics, but I think Carlton.
Yeah, I definitely think Carlton too, and good to see a couple of old Geelong boys, Simon Fletcher and Adrian Hickmott, doing very well.
Sam, who's going to win the big game?
Oh, Ed, Collingwood have been so good of late, it's hard to go past them, but I reckon Carlton might just tumble over the line.
Two blokes who epitomise the Collingwood-Carlton games are David Rees-Jones and Dennis Banks, who are with us tonight. And Banksy, just for old time's sake, can you just show us how it happened again?
I'm a bit worried about him sitting behind me at the moment.
Oh, Banksy, lean over, give him one.
Sorry, I missed that. You're talking to me?
Yes, mate, for old time's sake, just show us how you did it.
Oh, you're kidding, eh?
His hand's broken from a bloke in the pub the other night.
Reesy, big games. Can you remember much about the day that Banksy belted you and that you got carted off the MCG?
Well, actually, I knew I was in a lot of trouble. Once I clipped Banks with a bit of an elbow to the eyebrow and he was bleeding a bit, I knew I was in a bit of strife, and I knew it was coming. I just wish I'd have seen it coming.
Banksy?
Right, we play. Exactly that. Albatross elbows. He was 6 foot away. His elbow came out. He collected me right eye. Blood was coming out. The blood rule would have been sent off the ground. Had a chance to, a minute later, I had a queue of 8 blokes do an Indian file up the middle of the MCG wanting to hit Reesy. 2 on the back were Carlton, mind you. I dislocated my shoulder. At that point in time, we both threw a right arm at each other. I dislocated my shoulder. So I'm Indian file up the middle of the MCG. Blood streaming out my face. I couldn't really see. So what happened, I had a chance and I tackled Rees hard, what I thought, because I couldn't see, and had a dislocated right shoulder and turned over. As I turned over on the ground, I snapped my shoulder back in, so that was good. Stood up and I couldn't believe that they paid a free kick against me, but as I saw later on, the tackle was just a fraction too high.
Just a touch, yeah. Good on you, boys. Thanks for joining us as we look back on Kill the Greats. Oh.
Sam Newman? You Sam Newman?
Thank you, Lou.
You look like him.
No, that's all right, mate. What are you doing here, Lou?
I just came in here for you to do something for me.
Well, Lou,
to
go
plug
stand
that
over
over there for me.
Stand over with it, Lou.
Come
because
on over here, Lou.
This is the Lou Richards Memorabilia. Now, it's one of 100 signed jumpers by Lou, and there's a number of the great captains of all the clubs over the years doing this, and you can ring 1-800-687-842, 1-800-687-842. And Lou, what is it?
Well, it's my premiership jumper that I wore on the premiership side of 1953. Actually, it's not. It's a copy of that, but it's a great jumper and it's a great thing to have at home on the wall. Instead of having a famous Picasso painting, have that on the wall.
$750 plus postage and
Cheap
GST.
and half the price,
It
isn't it?
is indeed. So 1-800-687-842. Lou, who's going to win the game?
Well, I've got a feeling that Collingwood will beat Carlton. It's just a feeling, you know.
Ed, could I have a word with you, Ed?
What's that, mate?
Are we taping this for a Collingwood benefit night, or what?
No, we've been doing about Geelong. Now we're moving on to the other game.
I'm sorry.
Sam, may I say this to you, Sam?
I'm sorry, Ed.
Sam, may I say this to you?
I beg your pardon, Ed.
Well, you've been with Geelong for years and years and years, and yet you canned that club this week.
Oh, really?
Well, yes, you did. And I think it's okay to give constructive criticism.
Well, that was constructive.
If you wanted to say something about them, you should have suggested they had handbags, and then you should have suggested they put bricks in the handbags to make them play tougher.
Ed, are we on tonight? Is this a rehearsal?
Bucks?
Yeah, just
Well, why did you can them?
Ed, quiet,
Look,
we're doing a show.
Yes.
While we're plugging things, the Collingwood players have a review on Sunday night.
You have the review on Sunday afternoon?
We'll hopefully have a follow-on from that at the Bullring in Johnson Street. Ring Trudy at the club on 9473 4247 or the front desk and you'll get through to Trudy, and tickets are selling fast. So.
All right. Lou, are they going to win?
I think they've got a big chance. They beat them easily in the first early part of the season. Why can't they do it again?
All right, we'll take a break. When we come
do
back,
you reckon we'll win, Collingwood?
when we come back, we're going out to Glenroy for the wheel right after this on the Footy Show.
On 60 Minutes, the heartbreak of the kids and the grandparents.
I was crying so hard I was shaking.
Caught in the crossfire of divorce.
I wasn't just a once-a-month grandmother.
Forced apart by family feuds.
They have a right to be with the grandparents.
Also, at the biggest crime scene in the world, tracking down the man who massacred 7,000 people.
It's an enormous war crime.
And how Catherine Zeta-Jones tamed Michael Douglas.
I was bad. I was B-A-D.
Toyota presents 60 Minutes, Sunday.
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. Don't you come back no more. Don't you come back no more.
Wholesale sales tax is gone. GST is here. Now you pay less for practically all home entertainment equipment at Archie Martin. Pay less for TVs like this Casio handheld, now $199, or this LG 68cm stereo TV, $859. Pay less for new age technology like this LG MP3 player, $399. Pay less for VCRs, DVDs, and more. And at Archie Martin, you could win a trip to any sporting event in the world. Whatever you've been waiting to buy, you'll pay less at Archie Martin Vox.
Exciting. Having sex. Stealing cars. Nicholas Cage, gone in 60 seconds. Now play.
Kahlua. Drink the rhythm.
This
This week's Newmart Fresh Food Festival means fresh food at terrific prices.
175 gram Watsonia budget bacon.
97 cents.
1 kilo Steggles frozen chicken pieces.
$1.97.
Newmart, extra value for you.
And me.
Advertise in the Reader's Mart auto or real estate lift-outs this weekend for a chance to win a trip to the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games.
Got your ball?
So what are you going to sell?
Brian, have you seen Ralphie? Brian?
The Footy Show is brought to you by Holden.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Last week on the wheel, we had a bit of drama out at Dandenong North. Have a look at this. They went berserk when we sent out Pro Daniel Southern. And we've had plenty of letters of apology from North Dandenong and all sorts of things. As a result, the Liquor Commission have got onto us and we now have to send security guards wherever we go. So let's go out to Glenroy tonight, out in my old neck of the woods out near Broadmeadows. And Billy Brownless is back on the beat tonight. And Bill, I can imagine the boys are fired up there out in Broady.
Thank you, Edward, and I must say it's an absolute pleasure to be out at such a refined and sophisticated club as the Glenroy Football Club. You see the Strings playing here. They play here every Thursday night, and it's an absolute treat. Some of the people here, beautiful people, have joined us, and you must be wondering why we're so quiet and so refined.
Why are we so quiet and so refined?
It's because of these guys here. Have a look at them. Security everywhere. We've got security from Fed, Sec Security, and also the boys from Chubb Security. And I'll tell you what, they've quietened down things here tonight. And we've got a couple of absolute living legends joining us out here at Glenroy tonight. Little William Swan, better known as Billy Swan. Billy Swan, of course, played 302 games with Williamstown and Port. 2 Liston medals, but probably best known for kicking the winning goal in the 1990 VFA Grand Final. Run us through it, Billy.
Yes, Billy, I kicked that winning goal, and every year it keeps getting further and further out. I think it's about out in the Royal Parade by now.
It's about 10 metres out, don't worry about that. Absolute superstar, and joining him, the coach of Glenroy and also Billy's cousin, Roy Ramsey. Welcome, Roy.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks for being here.
I had no idea who you were, mate. You haven't got the long sleeve or the beard. Where are they?
Well, the beard's gone grey and the long sleeve jumper's under the bed now.
The beard will be under the bed too, don't worry about that.
Hey, Billy, be careful. Barry Michael told me once that Roy Ramsey was the best non-boxer he ever fought in the ring. He'll punch your lights out.
No, he won't. Me and Roy are best mates. Have a look, he's got a black eye, actually. There it is, the black eye. Don't know how he got it. But, mate, both of these blokes are 44 and still playing footy out here at Glenroy. It's an absolute great thing you're doing for football. And
here's what they'll win on the wheel.
Exactly. This is what you'll win on the wheel.
Ultra lucky on tonight's wheel. The boys will win the legendary Holden Ute with an all-Aussie V8 engine, disc brakes and alloy wheels. And enough room in the back to transport an entire winter supply of footies. The Ute is valued at $30,000 and it's from Holden, of course.
Here we got the lovely Karen going to spin it. Another bottle blonde joining us. Number 15, Kazza. TAB Sports Bet. Righto, give it a good pull. Here we go. Let's hope the Holden Ute can come up. Here we go. I'll tell you what, the Holden Ute's got to come up shortly. It's got to be very, very close. Let's see if it'll come up tonight.
Oh, it's going to be close.
Club Warehouse and Drummond Golf. Number 17, a massage table worth $500 worth of Elastoplast strapping tape donated by Club Warehouse, and also a power-built TPS 12-piece graphite shaft club set valued at over $2,000 donated by Drummond Golf. And I'll tell you what, there's some uncomfortable people in suits here tonight. The last time they had a suit on, they was known as a defendant. Don't worry about that.
Good line, Billy. Thanks very much. Billy Brownless out of the Glenroy Footy Club tonight. Benny Graham, spin it in, Ben, go. All right, we're spinning it around and we're going out to Camperdown. David Mills has sent in, and Camperdown, west of Colac on the Princess Highway, down Billy's way down to Geelong.
And at the risk of offending Geelong supporters, the wheel didn't even go the whole way around there, Benny. That was piss week.
But the good news is
we're running a bit short on time.
We're running a bit short on time, and good on you there, Benny.
And who
for
was the
doing
great player that came from Camperdown for the Cats, Ed?
Ken
Hinckley.
Ken Hinckley did.
Norman Sharp.
Well, Ken Hinckley did as well.
Well, Norman Sharp.
Paul
Broderick.
His nickname was not so, was it?
No, great player, Norman.
No. All right, let's have a look at the Bombers. Talk about great players. They're flying down at Windy Hill. Let's have a look at the Bombers. Johnson's in, Fraser is out. Omitted, a bit stiff there. The Bombers, 17 wins, 0 losses, on top for the last 24 weeks. Going to make it 18 straight this week. Now, there's been some talk about this being for the record. That's not the case, because Geelong holds the record for number of wins in succession, and Collingwood is the only team that's gone through a season undefeated. Happened to be an 18-game season, but the Bombers have got to go right the way through before they get that record. Let's have a look at Fremantle, though. They're 12th on the ladder, 7 wins, 10 losses. They've won 3 of their last 5 and are going very well, the Fremantle Dockers, at the moment. Last week, they defeated Port Adelaide by 18 points. Harding and Longmuir are in for McManus and Parker, who are both out with injuries. Boys, quick tip.
Essendon, Ed.
Saw Essendon last week. They're awesome.
Fremantle will be all right next year, I reckon. But where will they play Dustin Fletcher this week? Where do you think? Up forward?
They mightn't even take him, mate. They mightn't even bother taking him. They just leave half of him at home, I reckon.
Essendon. Sam?
Yeah, oh, yes, sir.
And by the way, Ken Hinckley is still the coach at Camperdown, so we'll see him next week. Kenny Hinckley, great Cats man.
Yes.
That's the Essendon versus Fremantle team. We've got a bloke who's associated with Fremantle, but better known for his clash with Alex Jezelenko.
Stanley Magro. Now, Stan, you're more famous, Stan, for playing for Collingwood, knocking out Jezza, or being over at the Dockers as the assistant?
Oh, well, knocking out Jezza, I think I was fairly considerate at the time, because Jezza's wife, Anne, was in hospital having a baby, and through that act, he spent the night in hospital with his wife and his newborn baby. So.
Good on you, Stan. Always thinking of others, mate. Fantastic. All right, Stan, stick with us. We're going to have a look at the Brisbane Hawthorn side now, and let's have a look at the lines. We've got a new player in, Nathan Clark. He's a 20-year-old, 186-centimetre utility from Maroochydore. So good to see a local player playing for the Brisbane Lions. He comes in with Cupido and White. That's the Brisbane Lions side. Now let's have a look at the Hawthorn side. Brisbane, by the way, 8th on the ladder. They must win this game at home, Brisbane. Hawthorn have got to win this to keep touch with the 8 and hopefully have a bit of a run in. They've lost 2 of their last 3. Both are 8 wins and 9 losses. For Hawthorn, Barlow, Crode and Taylor come in. No one out of the side as yet.
And strangely enough, Ed, an ex-Collingwood player over there.
Just bringing to the attention one of our players not picking up his bloke. That was the main call there. But no, I've got Lee to answer to if I'm out there too long, so it's good to get back quick.
And a big game. It doesn't get any bigger for your club. You've got to win this one to keep in touch with the 8.
Yeah, we've got 4 of the last 5 at home, so it's going to be pretty tough. But well, it's going to be easier than what it was early in the year. But yeah, to win those and make the 8's important.
Well done to Alistair Lynch, plays his 100th game for the Brisbane Lions. And boys, it's going to be a tough one, this one. Can the Hawks get up?
I don't think so, Ed. I think Brisbane have displayed some very good form over the last couple of weeks, and they should win.
Yeah,
Benny?
starting to gather some real momentum, Ed, in Brisbane. I think.
Just one question, Benny. You go back a game. You touched on it there. How good were Essendon last week? I mean, they flogged your side by 101 points, but I mean, just how good were they?
Oh, they were fantastic, and they were selfless. You know, they worked so hard for each other, and you know, block for each other, and just the little things that I guess that makes them a great side.
What about when they flooded the whole ground at one stage? You just couldn't get the ball through.
And everyone does it, Ed. And I think we counted Matthew Lloyd actually went into our forward line half a dozen times. And that's the leading goal kicker of the competition.
Yeah, it's a bit tough then, isn't it?
So you know, they're really playing for each other.
Back to Brisbane Hawthorn. Who's going to win?
Brisbane, in Brisbane.
Do you reckon?
Definitely.
No worries?
No.
Sam?
Yes, the Lions, Ed.
All right. That's it.
That's it.
We've got to the break. We're hurrying to the end of the show now. We're into the home straight. We're going to get through all the teams, hopefully, and then get over the tennis. The Williams sisters are on first, then Yelena Dokic. We're going to take a break and come back with a footy show right after this. What a night.
What a What a night indeed with 250,000 reasons to smile.
You've won $250,000.
Another 2 questions and it would have been the million. Who's next?
A heart still pumping from the last one.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? 8:30 Monday on 9.
Do you reckon they know what they're missing out on?
They wouldn't have a clue by the look of them.
4 and 20, the great Australian taste.
This war will be fought amongst us. I have 7 children. I do not wish to leave them fatherless. I'm joining up with them.
I forbid you to go! My child! You're my child!
We have to do something. I'll come back. I promise.
When the battle comes home,
where would he hide his children?
A father's only choice is to become a hero.
Mel Gibson. The Patriot at cinemas July 20.
You want service you can trust? You got it. You want to keep your Toyota feeling like the day you first drove it? Well, you got it. You got it. Because when you choose Toyota Genuine Parts and Service, you're trusting your Toyota to the people who know it best. Your Toyota Service Centre. Service you can trust. Baby, you got it. But only from your Toyota dealer.
The Newman Fresh Food Festival means extra fresh value.
Economy sliced rump steak.
$6.99 a kilo.
Mushrooms.
$4.99 a kilo.
Newman, extra value for you.
And me.
Childhood. Tell me about that. Starting from when you were 3.
New Continental Cup of Soup Gourmet in flavours like butternut pumpkin with sour cream and chives.
Yodeling drove my parents mad.
So delicious, you'll do anything to make it last.
Welcome to the Newman Fresh Food Festival.
1 kilo bags of mandarins.
$1.97.
Skin on, boneless chicken breast.
$8.99 a kilo.
Newman, extra value for you.
And me.
It's beyond anything you've ever experienced. New Gillette Series Arctic Ice Shave Gel. Ultra conditioners for an ultra smooth shave. And an invigorating new fragrance. Arctic Ice Shave Gel, new from Gillette.
Yes, Footy Legends for another week. Let's start off in the VFL competition. Let's have a look at the form of Peter Berbakoff taking a bit of a grab here. And so much depth down there. How do you like that, Benny?
Very fine.
Second up, going back to the Essendon District League, where we've just been here. Doodle Stars v Strathmore. Looking for a big mark.
Looking for Des. Des, what a mark! He takes a very good mark. Oh, when he flies, he flies.
And sensational commentary there. Assumption versus St Bernard's. Looking for the umpire, going for a sixer there. And into the screen and on your ass. All the very best. And finally, Hurstbridge versus McLeod in the Diamond Valley. And
watch the back heel.
Just have a look at that again. The back heel lands in the bloke's nuts. And we'll see here as the guy lines up, the guy just wants to crawl off over the boundary line and have a bit of a lie down. He's a little bit of strife. There we go. Very hard to man up at that point. And our winners for this week. He's still not getting up. Our winners for this week: T. Moorhead of Groveville, SKO of Mooney Ponds, B. Gissing of Woodstock, Don't Take the Brown Acid, and L. Clough of Grovedale, Victoria.
Who sent in the last one?
That was sent in by L. Clough.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought it was the first one for a minute.
Okay. And I think our winner will be L. Clough of Grovedale, taking off the $1,000 weekly cash prize and the chance to be motoring around in the fabulous Jackaroo.
This year's Almost Footy Legends winner will hit the road in the sensational Holden Jackaroo SE. With its V6 engine, automatic transmission, dual airbags and power windows, the four-wheel drive Jackaroo is valued at almost $50,000 and comes courtesy of Holden.
That's where to send them. Almost Football Legends, PO Box 800 Richmond 3121. Get them in.
And Ed, speaking of Holdens, the pit crew and mechanics of the Holden racing team are with us here tonight. Those who look after Craig Lowndes and Mark Skate, and just preparing for the final onslaught of the Shell Touring Series. And
they look after your car, do they?
No, they're in a different camp to us. But this is the Holden Special Vehicles HRT team, Ed.
Magnificent.
They are very
Good luck
capable
to Scafey
lads.
and Lounsey and the boys.
Killing the competition at the minute, they are.
Mr. Trev.
No, they're not Sam's mechanic. He goes down to local servo.
Let's have a look at West Coast versus St Kilda now. And the West Coast Eagles have brought in Crabb and Haynes, and out goes Glass and Rentoul. Both have been omitted from the side. Now, 13th on the ladder. They've lost their last 6. Now, the West Coast have lost 20 of their last 24 quarters, including the last 11 straight. So it's been a tough time for the West Coast Eagles. They're at home against St Kilda, who are on a bit of a roll. They've won 1 in a row, but won 5 of their last 29. 2 wins, 14 losses and a draw. But suddenly the pressure's off the Saints and away they go. Davis and Beetham, 2 of their young guns back into the side. That's great for them. Out goes Trinides and Schwartz. Both have been omitted. So they're tossing around a few of the young blokes, doing a bit what Collingwood did last year, just giving them all a bit of a run.
I think West Coast will win at home, and that they've probably still got the finals in their sights, so I think they'll win.
I think you said it, Ed. The shackles are off, got some young blokes in, taking risks, and they've got a good record in Perth, so I'm tipping the Saints.
Yeah, they were pretty hard at it on Friday night, and I really do hope they have a win over there.
I bet you do.
Stuart Lowe back in the team and in some form. So
what about Stewie last week? 14 marks, 27 possessions. Was a virtuoso display from the big man.
Yeah, it was. Obviously they're pretty happy to have him back, and as I said, if they can get over the line this week, it'll be good on them.
Did you notice that they were talking more, or was there anything discernible about them that just you thought, oh geez, they're here to play tonight, or anything like that?
Yeah, there was, but as I said, I mean, a game's a footy. It was a game of footy, and they were hard at it. And I wondered what Tim Watson would have said to his wife when he got home. I mean, what can you say? You'd coach them for 2 years, and they come out and win like that. So, good luck to them.
Trev?
I mean, what's Tim said to his players after the game? You bastards! Now you win one. Thank you very much.
Benny, of course, is absolutely correct. St Kilda were very hard at it last Friday, Ed. It's a pity there was not another side joining them.
Oh, come on, talk about St Kilda.
Yes, St Kilda. No way, they'll beat the West Coast over there.
You reckon the West Coast will break their run of outs?
Break their run of consecutive wins of 1 in a row, Ed.
Yeah, OK, 1 in a row for St Kilda. The last 6 the West Coast have lost. 13th versus last on the ladder. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to whiz through the last few sides and head to Wimbledon after this on the Footy Show.
All new Aussie superstars before they hit the big time as young hopefuls just starting out. Rare and never-before-seen footage including Gibson, Crowe, Minogue and Kidman before they were stars. Premieres 7 o'clock Saturday on 9.
Hurry in for more of what you want with Coles Better Buys. Like Omo laundry powder, 1 kilo varieties, great value at just $3.48. And Coles rump steak, definitely a better buy at $8.99 a kilo.
Like most people, I've tried many cough and cold products. This is the one recommended to me. It's called Logicin, and it really works for me. Look, you can try them all, but Logicin provides real cough and cold relief. It's available only from pharmacists, and it's 100% Australian-made and owned. When it comes to coughs and colds, I assure you, Logicin works as hard as you do.
supports and celebrates our Olympians' drive to win. Drive on, Australia.
He's up.
Hurry in for more of what you want with Coles Better Buys. Like Omo laundry powder 1 kilo varieties, great value at just $3.48. And Coles rump steak, definitely a better buy at $8.99 a kilo.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Let's have a look at the next game. Melbourne versus Sydney, the battle of the capital cities. And Melbourne, 5th on the ladder, 9 wins, 8 losses, have won 3 of their last 4. However, lost last week by a point to the Kangaroos. Have brought in Simmons, Walsh and Collins. Out goes Stephen Phoebe with a knee for 4 weeks. Bruce and Pitt have both been omitted from the Demon side. To the Sydney Swans, back in town, 11th on the ladder, 7 wins, 10 losses. Have won their last 2 to be just knocking on the door. Barry is in and O'Connor has been omitted from the Sydney side that beat the West Coast Eagles, flogged them by 71 points at the SCG. Round 3, Sydney won this game by 12 points.
Yeah, Melbourne are a great young side with a lot of good young players coming up, so I think they'll continue their form.
As just for a stat, last week Melbourne won 3 of the 4 quarters by 57 points and still lost the game. Just amazing. That the second quarter by North Melbourne, out they came and boy did they play.
Yeah, they'll be pretty disappointed, I reckon, Ed, and that may get them across the line. Although Sydney are hitting a little bit of a run at the moment, but Melbourne.
Yeah, Guy Rigoni, 37 possessions last week. They'll need him to fire again, but I'll pick Melbourne too.
Sam?
Yes, I'm agreeing with Ben because he's a very good judge.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sam.
It's a pleasure, Ben. Thank you.
Now, we move on, and Trevor, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to help me out here, but a very, very cryptic media release from the Kangaroos comes to me tonight, and I'll read it to you verbatim. Oops, sorry, here it is. All right, there's my bit of fun for the night. Martin Pike was not considered for senior selection in the team to play Richmond this weekend because his training standards did not meet those set by the club. Martin fully understands what these standards are and accepts the decision the match committee has taken.
What would it mean, mate?
Any idea?
Won't be playing this week, obviously.
Anyway, we're getting on to the Kangaroos officials now, so if you don't take the phone off the hook if you're a North Melbourne official watching the show, Trev.
Hasn't he given up the binge drinking?
Yeah, well,
maybe he has to take it up again, I don't know.
I don't know, we don't know. So we're trying to find out exactly what that means, but that's why Martin Pike is out of the North Melbourne side. Let's have a look at the Kangaroos. Calthorpe, Hewitt, Kingsley and Scholl, 4 changes. Capuano is out injured. He's out for a week with an injured hip. Pike, as we just explained, Rawlings and Spall have all been omitted from the team that won last week by a point. They're 3rd on the ladder, the Kangas, just travelling along, just 1 out, 1 back at the moment, I reckon, the Kangas. However, the Roos only kicked 3 goals in 3 quarters of footy last week, including none in the first quarter, and then, of course, kicked 11-7 for their best quarter of the season. Let's have a look at the Tigers. Well, injury and all sorts of things, I reckon, caught up with the Tigers last week, and they ran into the Bombers at full stretch, lost by 101 points. 7th on the ladder, still a big chance. Have lost 4 of their last 5, though, Benny. Rogers is in, and Harrison is back. Powell is out injured with a hip injury for a couple of weeks, and Sampson has been omitted. Can you turn it around, or are the wheels just starting to come off?
No, we can, Ed. I think we learned a lot of things last week, and we tampered with a few sort of aspects of our game plan, but I think we'll return to sort of what we do best and stick to our strengths, and hopefully that may get us a win this week.
2 great players play the 150th game this week. David King of North Melbourne and Nick Daffy of the Richmond side. Give them a round of applause. Well done, boys. 150 senior games. And Aaron James plays his 50th. Bucks, who's going to win?
Yeah, early in the year, Richmond were winning when no one expected them to, and they've sort of fallen at the last couple of hurdles, and I'd probably expect that the Kangaroos will get over them.
Benny?
Yeah, I think the only way they're going to win is probably beat the Kangaroos at their own game, and that's to get back to the long kicking style of play that's got them over the line early in the year, but I'm going to pick the Kangaroos.
Sam, the Kangaroos and Richmond, yeah. Well, what's your play on the Martin Pike omission?
Oh, well, no.
It's pure speculation for us.
It is, Ed. I mean, would we like to put up what we think and probably get sued for it?
No, we wouldn't.
No, well, I don't think we'll comment.
Your tip then on the game?
I think that Richmond might beat the Kangaroos, Ed. I do think that, because for no real reason. But I think that if the Richmond side work out how to contain that man that plays at centre-half forward, I think he obviously is the linchpin, and they might work that out.
All right, Sam's going for the Tigers. That game will now be televised on Channel 7, by the way. It was going to be shunted out for the rugby union. The AFL have fought to get that game on Saturday night. We're going to take a break. When we come back, final game of the round on the Footy Show, right after this.
They're stranded on an island with one goal, to win $1 million. They must outwit, outplay, and ultimately outlast everyone else. Survivor continues 7:30 Saturday on 9.
For over 70 years, Australian children have been growing strong and healthy on Angel veggies.
Of yes.
I miss you terribly. You look so beautiful. I can't wait. I have to have you now.
Red Rooster's Parmigiana meal is back, and at just $5.70, you'll fall in love with it too. That's what I want. Red Rooster.
Relax at Video Easy with the outrageous movie guarantee, Juice Bigelow Male Gigolo. First time or it's free.
Relax, relax, relax and move.
The Newman Fresh Food Festival means extra fresh value.
Economy sliced rump steak.
$6.99 a kilo.
Mushrooms.
$4.99 a kilo.
Newmart, extra value for you.
And me.
This is how a dental hygienist gets your mouth really clean. And this is how you keep it that way between visits. New Listerine Tartar Control goes further than just brushing to stop the build-up forming, so it's dynamite against tartar.
The Footy Show is brought to you by Holden.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. We're going across to Wimbledon in 1 minute and 2 seconds. Time it if you like. Let's have a look at Port Adelaide versus the Western Bulldogs. Lockwood, Corns, Bassett and a new player, and he's a gun, Paul Coolerides. 18-year-old wingman from Calder Cannons under 18s. Port Adelaide's #1 draft pick, and just about everyone wanted to get him. They ended up with him. He can play, the young fella. Out goes Daniels, omitted from the side. 15th on the ladder. They've lost the last two, Port Adelaide. The Western Bulldogs, 6th on the ladder, have won 2 of their last 5. 9 wins, 8 losses. Have to have a win over Port Adelaide to get going. We've got 30 seconds to go. Colin Hook, Macri and Murphy and Wills come in for Hunter, who's out for 5 weeks. Go, boys, tip.
Sounds like Kouta-Ferdy's. I bet you his nickname will be Cooler.
Cooler?
And I'll go for Port Adelaide.
Bulldogs travel well, but they're stretched, and Port Adelaide are home.
Travel well. I think they'll make amends from last week.
Never got there in time, Ed. We're in Wimbledon.
No, we're still going.
We're still going. Oh, so, well, I think...
Your tip, 7 seconds. 6.
Dogs.
The Dogs. Thank you very much, Sam. Now we're crossing live to Wimbledon for the semi-final of the women's. It's the Williams sisters. Good day.
Maud Wilson beat her sister Lillian. So it's a rare act, Liz, when sisters play this late in a championship.
I wonder if they had breakfast in the morning and warmed up together as well, like Venus and Serena did out on court 4.
I don't know. I know they played in front of 500 spectators back there in '84. There were a few more than that here today.
They sure are.
Let's take a look at some facts and figures about Serena Williams. Seated 8th here. Her highest ranking was number 4. Match record 20-5 this year. third round 2 years ago is the best she's ever done here until this year.
And she didn't play last year because she had the bad case of the flu.
And over $3 million in career prize money, not bad for an 18-year-old. On the rise, reside in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
And has just cruised through the Wimbledon draw this year, Tony.
She's lost 13 games so far, I think. No one's got more than 3 games in any set from her. She obviously has not lost a set. And this is how Serena has gotten here to the semifinals. There are the scores. The ace of Carlton 3-2, Basting 1 Love, Torrens Valero 2-1. She's just killing everybody. Lisa Raymond, who's a good grass court player, 6-2, 6-love, and Lisa Raymond said, I had no idea what to do. She just blew me off the court.
I spoke to Lisa Raymond yesterday, and she said she didn't feel like she played that badly against Serena, but obviously the score would indicate that it was just a complete whitewash.
Now we'll take a look at Venus, the older sister. She's 20. She's ranked 5 and seeded number 5 and has been ranked as high as number 3 in the world. Won 9 titles. See, she's only won 11 and lost 3 this year. She was out for 4 months with tendonitis in both wrists. Quarterfinalists here the last 2 years. Career prize money over $4.5 million. So the Williams sisters are off to a big start and done extremely well. And they are confident. They say, when we enter, we expect to win. And this is how she's gotten this far. Erdlikova 3-1. Sugiyama 1-4. Deshi, a little dicey in the second set. Close match with Appelmans. And then a tough match with Hingis. Served an ace to win the match and jumped about 5 feet up in the air and screened. Serena, of course, has won the U.S. Open. And this is their head-to-head situation. This is the 5th time they will have met. Venus leads 3-1. And the last time they played, Serena won. And that was in the Compact Grand Slam final back in '99.
Venus actually won the first 3, and Serena's won the most recent. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I think Venus is going to have to serve very, very well. I mean, we've seen her serve her first serve, as hard as anyone on the tour, but it's the second serve that tends to get very short from Venus. And if it gets short, look out, because Serena will stand way inside the baseline and just have a good crack at it.
The consensus seems to be that Serena has a more reliable forehand than Venus, and her second serve is much more reliable, better motion. Her father thinks that Serena is going to be the better of the 2 players as their careers go on. I think that Serena has to be careful from now on about how well she takes care of herself, because she has a tendency to get heavy. She's a bigger girl than Venus, who's tall and thin.
Oh, she certainly does, Tony. I mean, the difference in their body shape is quite marked, but they both do hit the ball extremely hard, as we've mentioned.
Serena is 5'10", about 1.78 m, and her sister Venus is 6'1", 1.85 m. That's Oracine mother.
It's Dionne Warwick in the background there, the singer.
Behind the jump with a white hat on.
Just making sure everyone's sitting where they're supposed to be sitting.
Right. Now this is pressure time, and one question I do have for you, Liz, is that do you think it's a problem for little sister to have to try to beat big sister?
Well, it's not like little sister hasn't done it before. Little sister did beat her in the Grand Slam Cup at the end of last year, but I think when Serena won the US Open last year, I think that was a bit of a shock to Venus.
Yeah, Venus didn't look very pleased in the crowd watching her sister win, and you didn't see much emotion. She had a sort of hood on, and she looked sort of bummed out, didn't she?
She did. I think it was a real shock to her.
There's the best sight you can see at Wimbledon, the blue sky, puffy white clouds. We've got a gorgeous day, a nice sunshiny day.
Venus Williams won the spin and chose to serve.
Venus Williams has won the toss and is elected to serve. Our umpire today is Jane Harvey, one of the veteran umpires. There she is, and does a magnificent job. Keeps good control of the match. There's some money involved, as you might expect, being a professional sport. The losing semifinalist will win approximately $161,000 U.S. The runner-up in this championship in the women's will win $322,000 U.S. and the winner double that, $645,000. That's over $500,000 the way I figured if you win it. Just as a sidelight, I won here in 1955, and I got a 10-pound certificate worth $27 redeemable at Lily White Sporting Goods store. So times have changed, and good luck to them. And I'm looking forward to this one because these are two terrific athletes. They cover the court beautifully, and I'll be interested to see the intensity between the two of them as they play this match. The court, as you can see, is a bit worn, but typically here it's still a true bounce. The ground does not undulate, and conditions are absolutely perfect for tennis. It's not too hot. There's no wind. Clear. Her nickname, they call her Mama Smash, and Venus's sister Ace. So that's their nicknames for one another.
Love 15.
I think one of the interesting things that Venus was quoted as saying is, you know, she knows all about me and I know all about her. They've practiced together, they've played together, they live in a house together in Florida. So they certainly would know one another's games.
15 all. Thank you. $30-15. You. $40-30.
Richard Williams, the father, is quoted as saying, my kids didn't get strong by lifting weights, they got strong by delivering telephone books.
Yeah, but I don't know how much attention people pay to Richard Williams. Do you, Tony?
He gets a lot of ink. Saying, I really want this title badly, and I think my sister does too. So you know what she's got in her mind.
Advantage, Serena Williams.
Break point opportunity for Serena. So it's not confusing. We will use their first names most of the time.
Deuce.
There was an opportunity for Serena off the second serve. We'll see how that aspect of Venus's game develops as this match goes on.
Serena was well inside the baseline to take a crack at that second serve.
Advantage Venus Williams.
Well, Serena slipped down back behind the baseline.
Game is Venus Williams.
Game for Venus. She wins the first game of the match, and interesting to me.
The Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson.
First game.
Interesting to me that how Serena's gone after that second serve. She really took a crack at a couple of them.
There's one of those royal people again, Tony. You
Yes,
know, being American, you're not too sure how they fit into the picture.
Not a president or vice president. I don't know too much about him, but I do know Fergie. I've never met her, but I know of her, of course. So now Serena to serve for the first time.
$15 love. $15 all. $30-50.
Good action on that second serve. Good movement through the air and some good bite to it.
$40-50. $40-30. Great way to turn defence into attack from Venus Williams. Serena knows, exactly, Tony. She knows that she's going to get a lot of balls back, but to be able to hit that one for a winner after you've just scrambled the forehand back.
She did a lot of running. Venus covered court beautifully that time. The ace.
Advantage Serena Williams.
Just warming up at 185 Ks.
Let first serve.
Game, Serena Williams.
Queens are now 1-all first set. I would guess, Liz, that the nerves are probably settling in now. They're over their initial nervousness, wouldn't you think?
Well, it's normally what happens. Before you go out there, you're nervous and during the warm-up, but then once you start to focus on what it is that you need to do during the match, the nerves do leave you.
Yeah, and you run some and
They
hit
might
a few
come
balls.
back
Yeah,
a little bit later on
yeah,
in the match.
exactly, depending on the circumstances.
15 love.
I'm glad that umbrella's up to block the sun. Not usually why they're up. As the statistics go on in this match, we're going to see a bunch of unforced errors from both players and a lot of winners. The question is who's going to put the best combination together.
40 love.
I've never been a believer that you come out early in a tennis match and hit the ball all your might right away, because if you don't get them in, it takes you a while to get the range. Venus Williams now leads 2-1 first set.
Wimbledon proudly brought to you by Toyota. Oh, what a feeling. Sakata Rice Crackers. Demazon. Quicken. Get your business GST ready now. MasterCard. Lone Star Steakhouse and Saloon. Medibank Private. And LG. Life's good.
There's one down, but the incentive to survive is a cool $1 million. Now the reality of the challenge is very real. They must outwit,
We have no idea where they're going, what they've done.
outplay,
I can't do it!
and ultimately outlast the opposing tribe. But differences will begin to take their toll.
We've all seen him eating extra food.
Survivor, the adventure of a lifetime, continues 7:30 Saturday on 9.
Some of the interesting things about the Williams sisters. Serena says tennis is just a game. Family is forever. And she likes surfing, skateboarding, playing her guitar, has a couple of dogs that she loves.
And she likes winning too, don't forget that.
Yeah, it's just a game until you get out there.
I've never met a happy loser. Have you, Tony?
Well, if you do, they're not a competitor.
Okay. Love 15.
How many ladies would have gotten that previous shot?
15 all. Great court coverage from Venus. Just making Serena play one more ball.
And she knew that her sister would be coming out of that corner as quickly as she could. 15 all.
Up. 30-15. 30 all.
Break point now for Venus. Venus Williams' off-court interests are languages. She wants to learn to speak 4 or 5 languages, antique furniture, Russian history, and sumo wrestling. It's an interesting combination, isn't it?
Game is Venus Williams.
So Venus Williams gets the first break of the match, and she leads 3-1.
Miss Venus Williams leads 3 games to 1.
You get the sense, Liz, that Venus is a little more relaxed and calm than Serena at this stage.
Oh, she's got more runs on the board here at Wimbledon. She's been to the quarters a couple of times, Venus has. Serena has limited Wimbledon experience.
I think this is only the 2nd grass court tournament she's ever played.
Goodness me, that's a big forehand return from Serena. As this match goes on, I think we'll see Serena picking on Venus's forehand a little bit if she can. Venus just didn't have time to react at all to that one.
There trying to get off the mark.
I love 30.
The only other time that Serena played here was in '98. She got to the 3rd round.
Oh! 15-30. $15-40.
2 break points now for Serena. Try to get back on serve in this first set.
$30-40.
Venus ball's called out, so Serena gets the break back. Venus leads 3-2 first set.
Australia's favourite ute because it's unbreakable.
When they needed a colour printer for experiments on the space shuttle,
only one was made of the right stuff. So, who do they depend on?
Okay, instructions printing out.
The same printers as you should. For perfect color, time after time after time, depend on Epson.
Beautiful day here at the championships. The spectators that can't get in the center court are watching on a big screen, a huge television screen. Some are taking a nap. Some are keeping the bugs off of them. Whatever the case may be, they're here at the championships.
I wonder where that person was from, Tony. Where do you reckon?
I wonder. There you see some of the Williams camp and friends.
It was an interesting thing here in the paper the other day. Venus and Serena actually were doing a bit of a sing-along with Dionne Warwick and I think Gladys Knight, and they're come back to cheer them on. The harmony wasn't too bad.
15 all.
Foul.
A lot of pace.
15-30.
Venus generates it very well off the backhand side.
And they both can hit it in either direction, too. That's they're not just restricted to being able to go one way and not the other.
On the line.
That's what it takes to win a point.
Great point from both girls. Talk about using the court well. Look at the angle there from Serena.
30 all.
Look how much court Venus has got to cover to get over to that one.
Venus was outside the doubles alley on one side, all the way out the doubles sideline the next side. Tremendous court coverage. 30 all.
It was an attempted serve volley from Serena. She looked to come in and then slipped.
Break point for Venus.
Got caught with the return.
Let first serve.
Foul.
Game is Venus Williams.
So big sister gets the break back. Venus leads 4-2 first set.
Miss Venus Williams leads 4 games to 2 first set.
Venus is just picking so well right now where she thinks Serena's going to hit the ball, I think, Tony.
Well, they've grown up together. They've practiced together all these years, so
It shouldn't surprise us.
no, they should know pretty much what the other has in mind. Then you get to the point, do I double cross you by doing just the opposite of what you thought I'd do or what I normally do? That's the fun part about the cat and mouse.
Oh, she missed it. The return of serve. Serena got incredibly jammed on. Here it is here, came straight at her, just had to do what she could. Evasive action, I think we call that. And a good lob.
We want to welcome our viewers from South Australia. You're watching the Williams sisters play one another. Venus Williams serving at the far end, leading 4-2 in the first set.
Love 30.
Venus has broken her sister's serve twice. Serena broke Venus's serve once. It's been a slugfest, some unforced errors, but a lot of terrific shots as well.
$15.30. $30. $40.30.
Well, from love 30 to 40-30, and thanks to some unforced errors from Serena.
Serena now has 8 unforced errors. Venus is at 4.
Game is Venus Williams.
Venus Williams leads 5-2 first set.
Running a small business, I didn't know what to do about the GST. Then I got QuickBooks. It's simply easier to use than any other accounting software. Now I'm GST ready, I can get on with growing my business.
QuickBooks from Quicken. Get your business GST ready now from just $199.
Dinosaurs are at McDonald's. In celebration of Walt Disney Pictures movie Dinosaur, play McDonald's McHatch Match and Win, and you could win trips to Hollywood flying Air New Zealand. Match a complete dinosaur and win one of many great prizes. So get cracking to McDonald's.
Elena Dockage warming up earlier today, getting ready for her match against Lindsay Davenport. That, of course, will follow this match being played now between the Williams sisters. Young Elena Dockage against the number 2 seed defending champion Lindsay Davenport. That'll be coming up right after this match, so stay with us on Nine's Wild World of Sports. And we're glad you're with us and hope you're enjoying it.
Love 15.
That's her second double.
Here's Ernie Els, great golfer on the left. In the middle.
It's good to see those guys come out and watch real athletes play, you know. It's marvelous, isn't it, how they play and how easy they make it look.
Yeah, I can never get in
15.
those bunkers once you get in them. It's
can't
hard to
get
get
out.
out though. I can get in them, I just can't get out of them.
$30.50.
double cross her that time. Serena expecting her sister to come cross court with that two-hander.
It's like off a second serve, though, Tony. Serena's first serve percentage is very low at 50.
Let first serve.
Venus is even lower at 42%.
Footy.
So a set point for Venus. Still a set point.
Juice.
Is Venus just slipping before she played that shot or tried to run for it?
That's the worn area behind the baseline. And it's a little bit slippery when you try to push off.
Advantage Venus Williams.
Set point number 3.
Well, against anyone else, that shot that Serena just hit, she would have got her opponent out of position. But that's one of the things that Venus does so well. It's an effective shot on the ball where she's on the run.
She's quick, covers a lot of court. First set to Venus Williams, 6 games to 2.
On 60 Minutes, the heartbreak of the kids and the grandparents.
I was crying so hard I was shaking.
Caught in the crossfire of divorce.
I wasn't just a once-a-month grandmother.
Forced apart by family feuds.
They have a right to be with the grandparents.
Also, at the biggest crime scene in the world, tracking down the man who massacred 7,000 people.
It's an enormous war crime.
And how Catherine Zeta-Jones tamed Michael Douglas.
I was bad. I was B-A-D.
Toyota presents 60 Minutes, Sunday.
It's lifetime health cover. For me, it's all so simple.
Oh, no, not that again.
You get lifetime health cover?
No, I never got around to it.
I did. No way I was paying a loading. I take care of myself pretty good.
Guess I missed out.
No, not yet. But you better get a move on.
What'd you do?
Went with Medibank. Couldn't find a better deal.
How'd you work that out?
Watched the ad. Made the call.
I feel better now.
GST, now the talking's over and it's finally here, what does it really mean, Plugger?
Gorgeous, succulent, tender.
Indeed, eh?
Come today, all tonight. They're moving. Gain some tenderness.
Lone Star's great value all-you-can-eat best big beefy ribs offer brings a whole new meaning to GST.
Gastronomically sensationally terrific, wouldn't you say? Well, he would, but he's dead set chockers.
All-you-can-eat beef ribs at Lone Star. Get some tonight.
Liz Smiley, here's some stats from the first set.
Well, look at the first serves in from both girls. Not a great number, but when Venus gets the first serve in, look at that number, 82%. And when Serena, off her second serve, 21%. And the unforced errors.
Second set, Miss Venus Williams.
It's a lot of unforced errors in one set in 8 games.
Sure is.
So Venus starting to serve set number 2.
Oh, she missed it.
15.
Venus had Serena on the ropes there.
Love 30.
That's her only double.
$15.30. Correction, the ball was good. Replay the points.
Jane Harvey overrules. Serena acts sort of upset about it. That's Jane Harvey, the umpire, but
I don't know
she
why
got a break.
Serena's. Yeah, I don't know why Serena's asking the umpire.
It was called out, and the umpire overruled. So we'll replay the point at 15:30, first game, second set.
$15.40.
It's 3 doubles now for Venus Williams. Couple of break points here for her little sister. Serena Williams breaks serve and wins the first game of the second set.
First game, second set.
Maybe momentum changes a little bit. That should give her a little confidence, Liz.
Yeah, I think I mean, it's hard to say what Serena can do differently, but if she can get into the net a little bit and maybe put some more pressure on Venus, but as we've mentioned earlier, I mean, Venus does cover the court so well, so it's hard to get just an easy volley.
You know, I think Serena would be well served to get the ball in play more often and wait for a better opportunity to try to go for a winner.
Let first serve.
She's taking a pretty big swing as soon as the point starts.
Booger.
Serena is starting to get the feel of Zina Garrison there. Get the feel that she can wrong foot her sister rather than go into the big opening, going behind her some. Footing seems to be a little tough today because it's very dry.
This is only the second volley winner we've seen in the match. And it's one of those big swinging volleys from Venus.
$30-15.
The second ace.
Let second serve. $30.